All right, so I'm going to walk you through the Nearpod. If you're with me here, that's what we're up to. So here we're determining or approximating the value of any point on a number line, representing negative numbers on a number line, and understanding what it means for numbers to be opposites. Okay, so with us only having live lessons 2 times a week on units like this one, we have to use some things like Nearpods to fill in little gaps along the way. So expect more of these on Tuesday and Thursday this unit. All right, so I want you to make sure you know by the end of this how you represent positive and negative numbers on number lines. All right, so we're going to learn about opposites. So we're going to look at temperature, and we're going to primarily do temperatures on vertical number lines, meaning up and down. Then we'll also be working on some on horizontal number lines too. And we'll look at like kind of mirror images to kind of help you see the distance from zero is on opposite sides of zero, but the distance from zero is a positive amount. It's like how far you are, just that you're on the negative side, right? Negative side, rather. All right. So you have some of the slides on here that you have to interact with and stop and do. So when you get to one that you're supposed to answer something, you can just stop my talking and then, unpause it to check over your work or whatever. Right. So this one, which of the following numbers could be B? Okay. So you're looking at B, which is between 2 and 3. Right. So it says, complete the table, then be prepared to explain your reasoning on the next slide. All right. So go ahead and pause and do that. But you shouldn't be guessing. There should be ways that you're proving that your number is somewhere between 2 and 3 or not. All right. We learned that in the last year. Okay. So once you've done that and you've unpaused, right? So it's wanting you to write me an answer on this. So do that and like submit that slide. Then kind of I'll go over it with you here. Okay. But I want your work. Even if you get it wrong, I'd rather you have your work than just copy my work. Okay. So I'm looking for your best effort. I would rather you make your mistakes than copy my answers, because then I can know if you need help. All right. So the answer here is, and again, I'm hoping you've already done it. If you got it wrong, so be it. All right. Just, kind of go back in the margins and show what you should have done here. So this is like 2.5 or something, right? So 2.5, 2.5. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Now this one, 5/2, you would divide like this. All right. So it's 2 1/2, right? So that's clearly could be it. 25/10, right, is going to be like this. And that is also going to get you, once you do this, 2 5/10, or 2.5. So yeah, 2 4900ths. That could be it. It's right in there somewhere. What it couldn't be is 2/5, because 5 into 2, top dog in the doghouse, is going to give you 0.4. So that is no. All right. So your sentence could be something like, this other one could be B because whatever, like it's close to 2.5. And then the 2/5 couldn't be B because of whatever. Okay. All right. And there's the answer there. All right. All right. Next one. Here are 4 thermometers. They show temperatures in degrees Celsius. We need to write the temperatures in the blanks. Okay. So 0 is right in the middle. Right. And then this first one is 1 above. So that's +1. Okay. This one is below 0. So you notice this is -1, -2. So that's -2, right? This one is +3, and then it's between 3 and 4. So that's 3 1/2, or 3.5. And then this one is between 0 and 1, about halfway. So that would be -0.5. So notice that's below the 0. Okay. And there you see the answers. All right. So now it wants you to fill in these numbers on a number line, then go check your answers. Okay. So you kind of have to look through, see, okay, what do we got here? What numbers are missing? Okay, based on the intervals that it has. See what you're counting by. Then go to the next slide and check it once you've done that. Okay, so it was missing the 0 and it was counting by 5s. So notice this is going down -5, -10, -15, going up 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, so introduce a new word to you here. You may or may not have heard this word. It's called a rational number. Rational, like it's like reason. It makes sense. Okay, and rational is kind of like, you'll notice on this one, it can be written like a ratio, right? So it can be written as a fraction, right? Which we've been doing a lot of. Okay, so it's any number that can be written as a fraction, which includes integers, whole numbers, but also, fractions and most decimals, right? Not all, but most. Okay, so what it's asking you here is go ahead and put down what you think. Is 4, the whole number, a rational number? So the question is, can it be written like a fraction? Yes or no? All right, put your answer and then check. The answer is yes. All right, we call it a whole number, but it is also a rational number. Okay, so any whole number can be written as a fraction by putting 1 in the denominator. So 4 divided by 1, which is still 4. So 4 is a rational number. So it's like this. There's whole numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's integers. So whole numbers are a part of integers, all right, which are all the kind of numbers on the number line. But that includes the whole numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the negative whole, like kind of whole-ish numbers. They're not whole numbers, but -1, -2, -3, like that. And then rational numbers includes those, but also includes all things that can be written as fractions. All right. So what about this? Is -3 8/10 a rational number? So it's not an integer, but is it a rational number? So go ahead and put your answer there. The answer is that, well, rational numbers are anything that can be written as fractions. So this is a negative decimal, but can you write a decimal like that as a fraction? Answer is yes, because the 0.8 is 8/10. So therefore this is -3 8/10. So that is a fraction. Because if you think about it, you're like, wait, that's a mixed number. Yeah, but mixed number is just a different form of a fraction, because we could do 3 times 10 is 30 plus 8 is 38. So then we would have 38 over 10, -38/10. So improper fraction, yeah, that's still a fraction. Okay. Now, on this one, it says put a mirror. If you put a mirror on the edge of a word, it's like you got a mirror and you're seeing the other side of the reflection. So positive and negative numbers are like a reflection at the 0 sign on the 0 on the number line. So the numbers are basically, you're not reflecting the numbers backwards. You're just putting a negative sign next to them. Okay. So basically, it's asking you to complete the number line that you see, putting the negative numbers counting out from 0. So you got 0, then -1, etc. Okay, and look at the next slide when you've done that. All right, so notice here that if you're going this way on this side of the mirror, you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're still going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from there. It's just you're going -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you start at the 0 and you just count positive or negative. All right. All right, so it says use this number line to answer these questions. Which number is the same distance away from 0 as the number 4? And then which number is the same distance away from 0 is the number -7? So you should be drawing on your slide, and then we'll check it on the next one. And then two numbers that are the same distance from 0 are called opposite numbers, okay? So it says to find another pair of opposites on this number line. So our solution would be, all right, for 4 is 4 away from 0. All right, well, you went 4 that way. If you go 4 this way, you'd be at -4. All right, from -7, well, that's 7 away from 0. So its opposite would be +7. Okay, and then two numbers that are the same distance from 0 on a number line are called opposites. So you could have, say, 6 and -6, or you could have one that's like a decimal, or like a part, right? So like 1.5 right here, the opposite of 1.5 would be -1.5. Those are opposites. Okay, they just have the different sign. Okay. All right. So next one says use this number line to answer these questions. How far away the number 5 is from 0. All right. Then choose a positive number and a negative number that are each farther away from 0 than is the number 5. All right. Then you're going to find how far away the number -2 is from 0. Then you're going to pick a positive and a negative number that are each farther away from 0 than -2. Okay, so do that and then look at the next slide to check. All right, so 5 is going to be 5 away from 0, right? So you need a positive and a negative number that are further away from 0 than 5. So here's 5, all right? The -5 is also 5 away from 0. So your positive and negative number that you picked had to be out here somewhere on the negative side and out here somewhere on the positive side. So they said 7 and -8, or you could have done -5.1 or positive 5.0001, like they said there. Okay. And then what it means by infinite combinations is you could have written anything as long as it was further than 5 away from 0. You could have written -47 million and positive 51 million if you wanted to, right? Like whatever. Okay. Determine how far away the number -2 is from 0. So that's 2 away from 0. And then your positive and negative number that are each further from 0. Right. And it says, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you could have the same number as D, but you also could include, when you're talking about more than 2 away, then now we're just looking at it's got to be outside of this, not outside of the 5. So it could be right in here somewhere too, right? Or it can still be out here. That's what it's saying, right? All right, now draw it. So it says, here's a number line with some points labeled with letters. Determine the location of P, X, and Y. Okay, so there's a little bit of we don't have a workbook, obviously. So you can kind of figure about how far these things are here. You could do it a bunch of different ways, but like if I see that this is like that far away, then maybe I could move that over there. I don't think this will allow me to do that, but kind of get a feel for how long that is. So that would help here, and then kind of count it out, right? So look, that's just kind of you're kind of just trying to figure it out. So that looks like that would be -1. So like for me, that looks like it's opposite of -2, or it's opposite of 2, right? It's about 2 away. So it's at -2, right? Do it like that and then check the other 2 on the next page. All right. So the next one, X, they said is like 4.5, between 4 and 5. I mean, I could see you getting 4, it's certainly, I kind of put my fingers on it. It looks like it's between 4 and 5. So if you had thought it was at 5 and then you put -5, that's cool. The point is that you should be something close to that and then putting the opposite number, so the negative sign, right? All right. So going back over the vocabulary here, a rational number is any number that can be written as a fraction, and then that number is opposite. So 6 and -6 are opposites, right? And then you got 2/7 and -2/7, 5.8, -5.8. All right, opposites are the same distance from 0, but on the other side. So -6 and +6 are opposites and they're rational numbers. 5.8 and -5.8 are opposites and rational numbers. Okay. So, now we're just kind of having different numbers for things. Okay. Is all it's saying there. All right. All right. So we got a couple of questions here. See how well you get this. And we'll finish this up. All right. We're supposed to select all the numbers that are rational numbers. and all the pairs that are opposites. Okay, that's what you're doing here. All right, and I don't think mine has the answer in here, so once you've done it, I'll go over the answer. All right, so for the first one, this one right here, all of these are rational numbers. Okay, they all can be written as fractions. Right, that's it. And then the pairs that show opposites, that would be B right there and C. Right, these are the same, not opposite. These are the same, not opposite. And these are reciprocals, which means the number flipped over, but they're not opposite. So 4 and -4, or 1/4 and -1/4. Okay, so make sure you have all this answered. I'll be checking it, making sure that you've done it, done what looks like your best work, and you'll get credit for some classwork points for the week for doing that. And then also, you do have a practice assignment for today, and I am putting some points on those also. I basically made a classwork grade for the week for doing all the work and doing it well. So make sure you take positive advantage of that by doing good work, getting yourself a really good grade for the week here. All right, so that's that for this video.